Hello and welcome to the short recap of the third round of the Croatian National Championship. So let's start with the games. We will start first with the game between Ante Šarić and Sasha Martinovic, which was the shortest one. d4, d5, c4, c6, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3, e6, the so-called Slav defense, e3 or the semi-Slav, a6, queen c2, c5. This is all well-known theory, cd5, ed5, bishop e2, bishop e6, castle, knight c6, rook d1 and cd4. We are currently following the main line. Knight takes d4, knight takes d4, rook d4, bishop c5, rook d1, queen e7. The whole idea of this system with black is connected with the temporary pawn sacrifice. Bishop f3, castle, and now white can take on d5 with bishop or with knight. It doesn't really make much difference because black will recapture with both pieces anyway, so let's check this. What happens after knight d5, bishop d5, bishop d5, knight takes d5, rook d5, rook c8. Black is defending the bishop and threatening bishop e3. Now white has two possible moves, queen e2 or bishop d2. Bishop d2 was played in the few games, and after bishop takes e3, bishop c3, bishop b6, queen f5, white was trying to claim some small advantage, but all games ended draw. The most significant one is between Gelfand and Vishy Anand. After queen e6, queen e6, f6, the pawn on f2 is hanging, so yeah, black has this slightly weakened pawn on e6, but it should be a draw. So white can actually try to keep the pawn with queen e2, but then black can play queen e4, and after queen f3 take, and rook d8. This forces rook d8, and king f1, otherwise white is just worse. Rook d1, king e2, rook h1. This is start of some forced variation which seems to be just fine for black. For example, b3, king f8, bishop b2, rook takes h2. And now if white wants to claim something, he should try to activate his rook with rook c1, bishop d6, and if check, king e7, bishop g7, and it looks like white has just won a pawn, but black has bishop g3, winning back the pawn and eventually equalizing. So that's why white didn't choose to take on d5, because he thought it's just too drawish, or maybe he just wanted to try something else, so he played b3, rook c8, bishop b2, but this seems more or less fine for black. Rook fd8, queen e2, getting away his queen from this annoying pin along the c file, b5. In some lines this is preventing knight a4, especially if we want to play d4 immediately, then knight a4 can be a bit annoying. So he plays b5 first, and after rook c1, d4, e4. Here both players agreed to a draw, and after rook d4, bishop d4, it seems like it's more or less equal position, complete symmetry. They don't have any real weaknesses. Maybe black's pawn structure is a bit damaged with this a6 b5, but there's nothing much going on in this position, so this game ended peacefully in a draw. And another game which ended in a draw is game between Ante Brkic and Hrvoje Stević. e4, d6, d4, knight f6, knight c3, e5, knight d takes e5, knight f3 is the main move. D takes e5, queen d8, king d8, bishop c4. White is trying to claim some small advantage in this line. because he gains some time attacking these black pawns. King e8, knight f3, bishop d6, bishop g5. White wants to spoil black pawn structure. c6. Black is securing his bishop, and he doesn't mind if white takes on f6, because knight b5 is some sort of idea, and also long castle. So c6, long castle, bishop c7, knight h4, preparing for bishop f6 and knight f5, or knight f5 immediately. Black actually forces white to take, so he doesn't mind, he just wants to take the bishop. h6, bishop f6, g takes f6, knight f5, knight d7. Actually, I thought that white here is at least slightly better because of his pawn structure, but Stevic managed to hold this position easily. a3, maybe f3 was a better try, but I guess Berkic didn't like b5. So a3 played, knight c5, f3, a5, knight d6. A novelty, but I don't think it changes too much. Bishop d6, rook takes d6, king e7, rook d1. Now black is completely fine. h5, a4, sorry. Rook d2, maybe with the idea of knight d1, knight d3, also protecting the g2 square in case of rook g8. So black played h5, white replies with h4, bishop e6. Actually, maybe this is a bit careless. Like knight d6 is safer option, or f5, because bishop e6 looks the most logical, but what happened in the game, it proved like that black had to worry about some things. Bishop e6, bishop e6, f takes e6, and now if white does something slowly, he can eventually be even worse. But there is a very strong move here, which is knight takes a4. White's only idea is to give check on d7, and he just wants to remove this knight from c5. Now if black takes with the rook on a4, after b4, he will have to give the knight on c5, or eventually move the knight, but moving the knight loses the rook after rook d7, king f8, rook d8, king g7, and rook d7, and black is just lost. So he took with knight on a4, rook d7, check, king f8, rook takes b7. White wants to play rook d7 and enter with both rooks on the 7th rank, so black plays knight c5, rook c7, knight a6, and here the players started to repeat moves. Rook b7, knight c5, rook c7, knight x6, and rook b7 with a draw. It would be interesting to see if white opted for rook takes c6. Black's only move is king e7, otherwise he's losing the pawn on e6 and all the material with it. For example, after king e7, white cannot play rook d6 with the take on e6, and if knight c5, smart, then b4 is kicking away this knight and winning the pawn, but black has knight c7, very strong move, and defending the rook, but white no longer has the b4 attacking the knight. So white would not play probably rook d6, but something like b4, and here computer says that position is around equal, but I would prefer white. I think it's much easier to play with white pieces here, and these pawns can really be annoying. Black can play here, for example, rook hc8, try to get rid of one rook, or he can play rook a7 with the idea to bring back his knight into the game after, like, for example, king b2, knight b8, and then knight goes to d7, which is far better square than a6, and stopping these pawns, and maybe eventually improving his position. But Berkic opted for a safer approach and repeated the moves. The next game, which was ended in a draw, was game between Jadran Koplence and Mladen Palac. It went e4, c5, knight f3, d6, bishop b5 check. very popular anti-knight. Knight d7, a4, knight f6, knight c3, a6, bishop e2. And that's the whole point of a4 move. Idea is to play a5 and fix this pawn on a6 and have some positional advantage. So black has basically two approaches: to let white play a5 or to stop it. When I was playing with black, I thought that I should just let white play a5, because later black can play b5 and it's not a big deal. For example, e6 or e5, a5, bishop e7, castle, castle, b5, let's say d3, b5, a takes b6, knight b6, and later black will play a5, bishop b7, and he doesn't mind too much. But Palace opted for b6, which is also very valid move, played in numerous games. So white played d4 according to Carlsen and MVL. C takes d4, queen d4, e6, castle, bishop b7, and now I think Magnus played rook d1, and there were some other moves, but Plancha played knight d2, very interesting move. I only found it in my database in one game between Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Can Emre, and I think it went something like d5, e takes d5, bishop c5, I think queen h4, knight d5, queen takes d8, rook d8, knight d5, and now black cannot recapture with bishop because pawn on a6 is hanging, so he has to play e takes d5, knight b3, castle, and white was just better in that game and eventually won it, because this pawn on d5 is isolated, and without queens black doesn't have the real counterplay he needs in positions with isolated pawn. So knight d2 is a very interesting move. According to the engines, maybe the best reply is knight e5 to stop knight c4, and you don't need to be afraid of f4, because after knight c6 this queen is awkwardly placed, so white can play b3 or knight c4. Anyway, it's unclear position, and I expect to see some games in the future in this line. But black opted for queen c7, and after knight c4 white can actually claim a small plus. This knight is ideally placed, it attacks pawn on b6, and now this knight from d7 cannot easily go to c5 or e5, for example. So white played e5, queen e3, but the pawn is still under pressure. Bishop e7, rook d1, castle, and b3. Rook b8, bishop a3, knight c5. Up to this point, I think Plancha was playing great with white pieces, and he gained a clear advantage against Palat, which is very unusual because he's normally very well prepared. And this is quite a big achievement to get such a nice position. But I think in this moment, maybe instead of bishop f3, what he played, it was very interesting to go bishop c5 to transform his advantage into something different. Best move for black is probably d takes c5. bc5 is kind of bad because after a5 white has ideas knight b6 connected with knight d5 with huge positional advantage. Queen c5 I think is the worst, because after queen c5, bc5, not only white can take on d6, but he can play just f3 positionally. The pawn is hanging, so black has to defend with rook d8, and after knight a5 he will have a really bad position. This bishop is lost, or the pawn on a6 will fall, so it's strategically very bad position with this doomed pawn on d6 and weakened square on d5. So the best move is probably d takes c5, but here white has many options. The most aggressive one is g4, which is move not for everybody, but the idea is g5 and then take on d5 with a piece. This knight d5 wouldn't be so strong, because after knight takes d5 e5, black stops the threat of d6, and also if white takes on e5, black can just recapture on d5, or also he has bishop f6 pin at disposal, so white cannot really capture on e5. So g4 is very interesting, and if h6, h4, threatening g5 again, and knight h7 attacking the pawn, white defends and attacks, but not really attacks, but prepares for knight d5, and he has a clear advantage. Also, he doesn't have to play g4, he can play something more quiet, like queen g3 or h3, or maybe not queen g3 because pawn on e4 is hanging, but something positional. Anyway, he played bishop f3, which still keeps the advantage. Rook d8, rook d2, bishop a8. Black is somehow, he's lacking space and also the moves, but the idea of bishop a8 is to play b5 at some right moment, so white stops this idea, so he can have after b5, he can play just takes and knight a5 or bishop a5. So black played instead knight e6, rook d1, and after knight d4, black as a more experienced player offered a draw to his young opponent, and his opponent accepted, but his position is actually great. He has many options. One of them is just a positional exchange sacrifice, rook d4, e d4, and now he can take with whatever piece he wants on d4, and he has total domination over black position, even with the exchange down, but black doesn't have any useful counterplay, so even if he doesn't want to sacrifice the exchange, he has some other options, maybe like h3, or if you don't know what to play, you can play h3 or something along those moves. Anyway, this game ended in a draw, so let's move to another game which ended quickly but ended with a victory of one player. It was the strongest match of the tournament between two favorites, Zdenko Kozul and Marian Bosiocic, and Marian was he's not in a good shape this tournament, it seems, so it didn't end well for him. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, bishop, knight f3, d5, knight c3, bishop b4, the Ragozin, bishop g5, main line, h6, bishop takes f6, queen f6, e3, castle, rook c1, d takes c4, bishop c4, this is all well known, c5, d takes c5, short castle is played more, but this move also has its venom. Knight d7, castle, knight c5, and now knight b5. I checked the games, and this was played also by Magnus Carlsen, and also in some recent games, I think between Radjabov and Anand, and Anand played here rook d8, but a6 is more logical, and it was played in a lot of games, and after maybe knight d4, black can play knight d7, he can play bishop a5, I think. But there was also one very interesting game between Magnus Carlsen and David Navarra, which went b5, bishop e2, e5, knight c2, rook d8, and here Magnus sacrificed the queen with knight b4, rook d1, rook takes d5, rook takes d1, and he had a nice compensation for the queen, but eventually he won the game, but computers says this position as roughly balanced. How roughly balanced this can be, I don't really know, but it's a really tricky position. Instead, later nobody repeated b5, so mostly players played knight d7 or bishop a5. Also, even computer mentions that knight d6 is possible with some pawn sacrifice, but nobody has ever played this, so maybe it's not so great. Anyway, Bosiocic played move bishop a5, which is a novelty, And it has some sense. Okay, he wants to get rid of the a3 threat, so it's normal. Bishop e2 also normal, attacking the knight. And here was basically the crucial moment of the game. And big mistake, I think the necessary was rook d8 to attack this queen. But Bosiocic, or bishop b6, but Bosiocic played queen e7, a bit careless, and after queen d6 he's in a huge trouble. Why? Because he has to trade queens, otherwise he is losing the knight. Queen takes d6, knight d6, now this knight is hanging, knight goes to a4, and now knight e5, and we see the basic idea for white is just to kill this bishop on c8, to completely stop development of the black pieces and to cut off this rook from the game. And also the tactical point, if black takes on b2, then rook c2, knight a4, rook c1 wins material because this bishop is unprotected and white attacks it 3 times and black defends it only 2 times, so knight c3 is forced, but after rook takes c3, bishop c3, rook c3, white is just completely winning. So Bosiocic, he didn't know what to do, I guess, so he played bishop b4 to force white to make some decision, but actually this is forcing white to just play a great move, which is knight takes f7. Normally you don't want to give 2 knights for the rook and pawn, but here it just wins material because rook f7 loses on the spot after knight takes f7, king f7, rook c4. One of these pieces will just drop, and after a5, a3, knight b2 or knight b6, there is rook f4 intermediate check, winning the piece and the game. So he didn't take on f7, he played knight takes b2 instead, and now white defended this knight. Black played a5, which is a bit careless. b5 was better, but I think with the idea to at least trade these annoying knights and also to include bishop into the game, but the position is bad already, so I mean after b5 there is even more bishop f3 to consider, which looks just terrible for black, so maybe you just give up on such a move, so you play a5 at least to defend this bishop. But white has rook c7, it seems like an active move, you want to play rook c1, but there is one really nasty threat. Knight a4, bishop g6, that's the whole point of white's play. He is threatening mate in 3 moves. If black plays something like knight b6 or knight c5, there is knight h6 check, g takes h6, bishop h7, king h8, and knight g6 checkmate. So if he doesn't take on h6, then he's just losing the exchange and more material, and eventually the whole game. It's completely over. And black actually doesn't have any normal defense, so he just resigns. For example, after rook e8, knight h6, g takes h6, white will not take rook, but he will just again give a mate, because after king f8 we have the same picture, or even rook f7 is checkmate. So great game by Zdenko, but one mistake from black side, queen e7 basically decided the whole game. Another decisive game was between Ognjen Jovanic and Robert Zelčić. Another great game from white side, actually very simple chess. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, queen c2. The Nimzo with queen c2 is considered to be the safest approach from the white side. d5, a3, bishop takes c3, queen c3, castles, bishop g5, d takes c4, queen c4, b6, rook d1. This is all the main line, but here the main move is bishop a6. And white has a choice to put queen on c2, but then allow knight bd7, or to play queen a4 to stop knight bd7, but then black can play, for example, queen d7 here. And now Now either you trade queens, which doesn't give any advantage. In general, this whole line is considered equal or just some slight academical advantage for white. But black played bishop b7 instead. And here white reacted, I think, in a very good way. He played f3, he wants to play e4. Knight bd7, e4, queen c8 and knight e2, and white is actually here very much in the control. He's just better. Maybe black should try bishop a6, but here queen c6 is strong, and after bishop b7, queen a4. Now this bishop a6 is not a big deal. In case of c5, white just plays knight c3, and we are in the similar lines as in the game. But in case of bishop a6, white can play rook c1. He can even play knight c3, and compared to the other Ninso Indian lines with queen c2, here he's just a couple of tempos up, but this king is not really irrelevant, because in 2 moves he is already on g1, safe as square. But the more important thing here is that white's control of the center and his better bishop, and in general better placement of all of his pieces. Instead of bishop a6, black played c5, knight c3. Now bishop a6 will never be an option. Queen b8, it's a bit strange move, but it's difficult to give a good advice in a bad position. Bishop e2, a6, castles. Maybe d takes c5 was more precise, I think, because knight c5 you always need to consider taking on f6, and if rook c8, white can play, for example, queen d4, and maybe he thought that this is not much of an advantage, but actually it is. You can do whatever you want here. You can trade queens with queen d6, queen d2. Anyway, white played the simplest possible way. He castled. b5, queen d3, b4, knight a4. In case of taking on b4, which is also possible, maybe he didn't like the idea of trading those light squared bishop, where he would give away his bishop pair advantage, but still it's better for white because of his full control of the center. He opted for knight a4, bishop c takes d4, queen d4, bishop c6, knight c5, b takes a3, and here he played, I think, a great move. Normally you would just take on a3, but this can lose some sort of an advantage. White is still better, but it's not so clear. If you take on f6, you're basically left with only 3 pieces on the board, so you don't have such a clear advantage, and the game will probably end up in a draw. But he played knight d7, very strong move, intermediate. Now black cannot take with bishop on d7 because he's losing the material. So he must take on d7 with knight, and now b takes a3, and black cannot trade those bishops because knight on d7 will fall, and white is in full control. Here black has a really poor choice, and he traded the queens, but on a wrong square. He played queen a7, maybe better was queen e5, but anyway, this is like torture till the end of the game, this type of position, because of the bishop pair. He played queen a7, queen takes a7, the simplest and the strongest. Rook takes a7, bishop e3, attacking the rook. Now if rook goes to b7, then it just drops a pawn, and if it goes to c7, then with the idea to have after bishop a6 rook a8 and take back the pawn, then white will not take on a6, but he will just play rook c1 and double on c file, and eventually win this bishop and the game. Because now if rook c8, now I can take on a6 and take advantage of this pin. So he went back on a8, what to do, but now rook d6, again strong move. Attacking the bishop, again you can't play bishop b5. Knight b8, very unfortunate decision. rook c1, rook c8, and here whatever white do is just completely winning for him, but he played the quickest, in the quickest possible way to finish this game. Bishop d1, king f8, bishop a4, and just bishop a4 is not possible because of rook c8, king e7. Here e5 is possible, and I think the game is also over, but he just took on c6 because after king d6, bishop a8, black resigned because rook on c1 is defended. So sometimes the simple chess is very effective. And there was only one game remaining between Blažimir Kovačević and Davor Rogić, which was the longest game and the most, maybe not most interesting one, but maybe the most instructive one. c4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, knight c6, e3, bishop b4, queen c2, bishop takes c3. Is played maybe even less than main move castle, but I think bishop c3 takes c3 is more precise because this allows knight d5. And then the question is, what is your bishop doing on b4? So black took on c3, queen takes c3, queen e7. I think this game is great example how to play with black pieces. Exactly this line. Bishop e2, castles, d5, d4, bishop g4. Such a simple and chess and developing all the pieces. D takes e5, knight takes e5. Taking advantage, taking the fact that white is actually pinned. So if he takes on e5, then just the bishop on e2 will drop. Knight takes e5, bishop e2. Queen e5 does not change much. Actually, it loses the pawn because pawn on c4 will just drop. I think b3 is not really an interesting option because after knight f3, you will have to take with bishop, because after g takes f3, bishop h3, for example, rook e1, knight e4, you will resign because you're getting mated on g2. So you have to take with bishop, but then knight e4, and now you have to take on e4, otherwise this position is very dubious. Black can even just play queen g5 and repeat moves, but I think he has much better options. And if black doesn't play knight e4, bishop f3, it's not so horrible for white, this pawn structure, because this bishop can be quite good against this knight, especially if white manages to play king h1, rook g1, rook g3, and then create some attacking ideas. But white took on e5, bishop e2, rook e1, knight e4, strong move. Queen c2, queen e5, queen takes e2, d takes c4, queen c4, rook d2. Similar as in a game between Kozul and Bosiocic, here white has the problem of his undeveloped bishop, but at least he can solve this problem. Black has actually solved all his problems, and he's slightly better. f3, knight c5, e4, and at least this bishop will enter into the game. Knight d3, rook e2, rook d7, queen b3 defending the pawn on b2 so he can develop the bishop, rook d8, bishop e3, c5, rook d1. White is consolidating and he's close to equality. Knight f4, rook b2, knight e2 check. You can't take on e2 because rook on d1 is hanging, so king f2. Also king h1 was possible, but king f2 is perfectly normal. Knight d4, bishop takes, c takes d4, g3 defending the pawn. h5, h4. At this moment I thought that this game will finish in 2-3 moves with a draw, but the game continued. b6, queen d3, rook c8, rook c2, rook takes c2, queen c2, rook c7, queen d3, queen e6. Black is actually taking some nice decisions. He's creating double threats. Pawn on a2 is hanging, and also queen h3 is a bit annoying. So white has to take on d4, rook c2, rook d2. Here maybe king e3 unhuman move was possible. At least what is computer saying, but I really think this is almost impossible to play in the real game. First you have to see that you don't need to be afraid of queen h6 because you can play king d3, and it's not clear what to do after queen a2. But okay, white played rook d2, rook d2, queen d2, queen a2, and this should be an easy draw, at least it looks like. But in fact black has some tiny hopes. He has a majority on the queen side, and his majority is way more flexible and movable than the white's majority on the king side. And white played queen c3, queen e6, good defensive move, covering the c8 square and preparing a5, and also preventing g4 in some lines and some other moves. White played e5, which is giving away some squares, but in some lines after a5 he can play maybe queen d4 with the idea to put his queen on d6. Instead he played king e3, and this is move I really don't like, because it allows black to play b5 instantly, and it's the only move which allows black to play b5. If you play anything else like queen d4, you can't play b5 because queen d8, king h7, you take on a5. If you play king g2, black cannot play b5 because a5 is hanging, but after king e3, black can play b5 because after queen takes a5, queen e5 is check, and b2 is hanging also, and you're just a pawn down. So you have to play king d4, which was the point of king e3, to centralize king's queen, but now after b4 there is only one move in the game which saves the white, and the white had around 1 minute on his clock, and he didn't find it, and this move is queen c4. The main point is that you have to prevent queen b3, otherwise you are clearly worse, almost lost. And here taking on c4 is not an option for black, because he will lose these pawns and lose the game, so he has to play queen f5 is interesting, or queen g6, for example. After queen f5, queen d5, a4, trying to push this, queen a8 check, king h7, queen takes a4, queen f3, queen b4, queen takes g3, attacking the pawn, so you have to defend it by moving your king. It still feels a bit annoying. You are still a bit worried, especially after g5, a takes g5, h4, this pawn is rolling, but the game should be saved, but it's not an easy task for a human to spot it. Instead, white played queen c5, and after queen b3 he was in a huge trouble. Actually, he's just lost. Queen c8 check, but queen a5 was better, at least, and after queen takes b2, king d3, but you don't want to allow a passer. So he played queen c8, king h7. Unfortunately, queen f5 is nothing after g6, so he went back. But after a4, the threat of a3 is just devastating. You don't have any way to counter it. Queen f4, and now a bit a tricky move, which black didn't fall for it. He played a3 very strong. You don't really need those pawns if you're just queening. For example, after queen takes b2, king c5, queen c3, king b5, suddenly the pawn on f7 is hanging, and if you want to push these pawns, you will have to worry about some perpetual. Queen f7, threatening queen h5, you take the pawn on e5 with check and defending pawn on h5, but after king takes a4, the pawn is hanging, so you have to play b2 and queen b3. And now white's next move is king a3 and take this pawn, and there is no way for black in two moves to threaten b1 and to defend the pawn on b2 in the same move. So here you need your queen to be on c1 or a1 in order to win the game, but this is impossible. So black played a3, very good move, practical. B takes a3, b takes a3, e6, and after queen d4 he resigned because the pawn endgame is completely lost after f takes e6. It's important not to play a2 because e takes f7, queen, and the game is drawn. So you just take on e6, and after king c3, king g6, king b3, king f5, collect all the pawns and win the game. So this was the recap of the round 3, and we will have these recaps, I think, every day. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.